Yes, low prices because there's nothing there. Like, the irony is that they take, but they leave what they just don't want. Meat's gone, but fish untouched. So I decided I wanted to stop and get some whiskey, and I guess other people are already thinking about it, brother.
Sometimes you just gotta work with what you got. So we're gonna do that together, don't you worry. Okay, so I know things are a little crazy right now. I hope everyone stays safe and healthy and happy. And look, this video isn't about anything other than just cooking with stuff from your pantry that's easy to find, or hopefully. I don't want to put any sort of statement over this video. Let's just make this stuff and let's have a beautiful time, all right? Hugs and kisses to everybody. Be chill, stretch, watch a movie, drink some water, and enjoy. It's usually more like, let's do this, shall we? But I've already ruined that, so.
Okay, so first recipe, you're gonna start with a small pot filled with water, and to that water, you're gonna add 3 strips of toilet paper. Then you're gonna bring that water to a light simmer, and then we're gonna stop this joke because it's stupid. I don't know why I did that. Ha ha ha, very funny, Josh. All jokes aside, if you have flour, yeast, and olive oil, then you can make focaccia, so that's what we're gonna do, really easy. So you're gonna start with 3/4 of a cup plus 2 tablespoons, or 189 milliliters of lukewarm water, around 95 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. To that, you're gonna add 1 1/4 teaspoon, or 5 grams of active dry yeast. Fork that around a little bit until it's nice and mixed, and let that sit for about 5 minutes. In a separate bowl, add 2 cups or 300 grams of all-purpose flour or double tipo flour, along with 1.5 teaspoons or 8 grams of fine sea salt. Give that some whiskey business until thoroughly combined. To that, add your water yeast mixture, all of it, and then mix it by hand until it starts to come together and form a dough. Dump it out onto a work surface, and then knead it for about 3 to 5 minutes or until it gets roughly smooth. It doesn't have to be perfect, you know, it's an easy recipe. Lightly grease a bowl with olive oil. Shape your dough into a ball, plop it in there. Lightly grease some plastic wrap, cover, rise in a warm area for 1.5 to 2 hours or until doubled. Bada bing, bada boom, your kitchen's messy and now your dough is risen. So, in a small baking dish or a quarter sheet tray, generously grease with olive oil, add your dough to the pan and then realize that you forgot to add flaky salt on the bottom, so take it out, add some flaky salt to the bottom, then add your dough to the pan. This was actually a little bit big for this dough in my opinion, but it still worked fine. Spread your dough out, cover it, and then let it rise for an additional 30 to 45 minutes or until doubled. Once you get a plump boy, generously drizzle with olive oil, dimple it all over with your fingers, and then add whatever nice vegetable you like. I really would recommend grape tomatoes. Onions are great too, you name it. Then give it another light little drizzle of olive oil, some flaky salt, and then pop it in the oven at 450 degrees Fahrenheit or 230 degrees Celsius for about 30 minutes. Or until it looks nice and golden brown like this. Let it cool a little bit, cut and serve warm. Okay, it's the focaccia time. I don't think the Italians could be any more angry than they are at me right now. Don't care anymore. It's chewy, it's salty, and then the tomato just like
explodes and bursts into your mouth.
Wispy. You heard that? Do you wanna try it?
Thank you.
Are you not gonna comment on it? Okay, so the next recipe relies on canned goods. We've got some green chilies, we've got some green beans, and then of course you can also use Rotel if you want. The options go pretty wide here. You can exchange any sort of canned vegetable you want. Also for the record, there's no other scenario that I would ever do this. In a small saucepan, add 3 tablespoons or 42 grams of unsalted butter. Set that over medium heat and add 1 diced medium yellow onion, along with 2 cloves of thinly sliced garlic. Cook, stirring occasionally, and then once it begins to soften, you're gonna add a 4-ounce can of patch chilies. God, I hate the idea of using all this canned stuff, but I do this for you. Season that to taste with salt, a little bit of black pepper, and then cook that for an additional 5 minutes or until everything's nice and soft. Then add 1 can of green beans, cut up or whole, doesn't matter. To that, you're gonna add a 1/4 cup or 60 milliliters of heavy cream and a 1/4 cup or 60 milliliters of chicken stock. Of course, you can also just sub both of those with water. Bring that to a simmer, immediately remove from the heat, place in a blender, and blend until completely smooth. Adjust the salt levels as needed, pour it in a bowl, and then you can add whatever you want to this. I added some goat cheese, some crushed pistachios, a thick drizzle of olive oil, some parsley, a little bit of flaky salt, you know, you name it. Cream of
Bean.
creamy bean soup. Entirely made from canned goods, minus the pistachios and the goat cheese and the olive oil and the flaky salt and the parsley and the onion and the garlic and the butter. But other than that, it's pretty much a canned good meal, so hey. I might never use fresh food again. That's never gonna happen. and nobody would have any idea that at least half of it is canned goods. Okay, on to the next. Next, we're gonna make the Chinese rice porridge known as congee. It's very, very easy. So you're gonna start with 3/4 of a cup or 170 grams of white rice, preferably sushi rice. Give that a good little rinse, and you're gonna place it in a medium-sized sauce pot. And to that, you're gonna add 6 cups or 1.5 liters of chicken stock or dashi, or a mix of 2. I really wouldn't recommend water because it's gonna be really boring flavor. So yeah, chicken, really any chicken or beef stock is fine. Set that over medium heat and bring it to a light simmer, and then simmer that for about 1 to 1.5 hours, stirring every 15 minutes until the rice begins to break. It's thickened and it's sort of got a texture looking like this. Ladle the hot congee into a bowl. Top it with whatever you want, but I would recommend some thinly sliced green onions, some chili oil, maybe a little bit of sesame oil. Season to taste with soy sauce or dark soy, some fresh chopped garlic. You can also add roasted meats. The list goes on and on. Now this is something special right here. When I used to work at Uchiko as a lead cook, we used to eat this all the time for breakfast. In the morning, we'd come in. Our executive pastry chef would make this for us for breakfast because she's so kind. Ariana, if you're watching, miss you. It smells mind-boggling, if you will. I mean, wow. See, the thing I like about this is you can kind of dress it up however you want. Staple food, it stretches $1, mad healthy. Ooh, and a soft-boiled egg in here would be nice one. Last, we're gonna make some bacony beans. In a large skillet, you're gonna add 1/2 pound or 230 grams of bacon. Start cooking that over medium heat until it starts to get a little crispy and releases a bunch of fat. Then you're gonna add 2 diced poblano peppers, or any pepper that you can find, and 5 cloves of thinly sliced garlic. Season that to taste with salt, stir that, and saute until that begins to soften. You're gonna add 1 can of pinto beans. Adjust the salt levels as needed. Continue to cook until the beans are nice and hot, and that's it. You just pour that, and you can put that on anything. You put that on rice, put it with some potatoes. I actually put that on a tortilla and just topped it with avocado, some manchego cheese on top. You know, you could do whatever you want with this stuff. It's a great accompaniment, or it can be a entire entree on its own. Good sound, 10 out of 10. Wow, salty and bacony and garlicky and that's real good. I just ate this whole thing and didn't say, and that alone is all I needed to say. I put bean in my hair. But do you want to know what else has bean in its hair? B-roll.
Guys, and that is it. So we made a bunch of things that were made from canned goods, things that were fresh, sort of like a nice little mix of everything. And of course the classic toilet paper boil. That's very important these days. Take a sip of that after. That's delicious, by the way. Andrew, thank you for the recommendation, Angel's Envy. I've already said it before, I don't wanna brush on it too much, just, you know, be safe, be happy, guys. Just for obvious reasons, I haven't released merch purposefully. The website is live, it's ready to sell. I'm ready to sell, I really wanna release it now. I just wanna wait a little bit before we do that to be respectful. But in the meantime, I wanna wait till things just kind of chill out a little. And until then, I know things can be a little scary, but hey, I hope everyone is safe, happy, chilling, drinking a nice glass of bourbon or whatever your drink of choice is, if you're of age. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video or you learned something, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.